Okay, welcome back everybody. This is the second part of the Porsche demo, part two. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to construct page two and get the navigation going back and forth from page one and page two from the previous video. So let's get started. Share my screen. Okay, so here's where we left off, and one of the things that I forgot to do is we actually made these three layers here, and everything is on the same layer right now. So we do have the background on the background layer, and you can tell what element is on what layer by its outline frame. Notice when I click the black box, you can see the blue frame around it. And when I click these boxes, they're all red, and that tells you it's on the images frame. Actually, you know, when you click on these, you can see it jumps to that layer anyway. But all of this type is supposed to be on the typography layer, and it's on the images layer. So what I'm going to do is select all of the text boxes. I'm going to hold down the shift key, select this one and this box here, and this box, the 911, the 911 Carrera. I'll do this for now. And then I'm going to take this little red square and click and move it up to the typography layer and let go. And now you notice all of the text boxes that I had selected. And you can select them all multiple boxes at once. All are now on the typography layer. And we know that because we can see the green outline. Now this text here needs to also be on that. So I will select that text box and bring that, click and drag it up to the typography layer. Now you just kind of move it up here. It doesn't look like anything's happening, but when you release, you can see that it is now green. Everything else, photos, the photos should all be on the images layer. Okay. So when I built this, what I should have done is when I built this text, I should have targeted the typography layer, which I didn't. I was on the images layer. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to copy everything and paste it to page two. So in order to make sure everything is copied, I have to unlock the background because I do want this black bar, this black rectangle to be copied also. Now, in order to preserve layers when I copy all of this, when I copy it, I want these layers to come with it. I have to, in my layers panel, I have to go up to this little menu icon here, and I have to select paste remember layers. Paste remembers layers. And when I do that, that means that whenever I copy and paste, these layers will be remembered and will be part of that second page. Okay. Otherwise, by default, it's not on. And so when you copy something, it will all go to one layer. So you don't really want that, you know, especially if you have multiple layers here. You want all your layers to be remembered. Okay, so I click paste remember layers, and now I'm going to select all of my elements on the page with the background unlocked. So I'll do that by doing Command A, that selects all. And then I'm going to do Command C to copy. I'm going to go now to page two, double click, and I want to paste that exactly in the same position as page one, the exact duplicate. And the way you do that is what's called a paste in place. If you go up to edit, you'll see paste in place here. I like to use the shortcut key, which is Shift Command or Shift Command Option V. Okay, on your keyboard on a Mac, it's Command Option Shift. Those three keys, you do it with your left hand, three fingers. Command, Option, Shift, and then the letter V as in Victor. Okay, so if you do that, that will paste in place. I'll do that, Command, Option, Shift, V, and everything gets pasted in the exact same position. You can see here in the layers thumbnail that it's the exact copy of page 1. Okay, and that's what we want. We can also see the different colored boxes, so we know that our layers have been pasted as well. If I click on layers, you can see that all of the layers come with it. Okay, again, I want to lock my background layer because we don't want this background layer to move. And now we're going to just swap out photos and make the second page. We'll have to reprogram some of these one of these buttons here, but that'll be easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is start from the top, and I'm going to do 911 Carrera. Actually, all I'm going to do is add 4. Okay, and I'm going to highlight this and make this white. Okay, so that is done. Next thing I'm going to do is I might as well do it down here too. I will add Carrera 4. I'm going to highlight this and make it black. And then with my move tool, I will, or my nudge key, I'll just nudge it down to there, as if this were the Carrera 4. Now I'm going to select this car and I'm going to swap it out. So I'm going to select the car. I'm going to go up to File and Place. Now another thing you can do when you're placing is use the shortcut key, which is Command D. That's a lot faster. In InDesign, you know, the more you use it, the more you'll start using shortcut keys. So if I select this and do Command D, it takes me right to my place menu, and I'm going to look for that white car, which I know is the Porsche model PNG. I'm going to click Open, and automatically swaps it out. It preserves the animation to this, so everything is good. And next, I will get my text tool, and I will go up here to the this price, and I think the price on this car was, let me look at the original, $104,700. Okay, so that's all I have to do here, $104,700. I'll just type out 104,700, and that's done. Okay, since this is all placeholder text, I don't really have to change any of this, but if this were a real brochure, obviously this copy would be different. Okay, the next thing is swapping out the photos. So let's take this large photo and again, Command D to place. And I'm going to find that long photo, which is this photo here. Okay, and I'm going to click Open, and it swaps it out. Now, this was not the same proportion as the other photo, so I'm having some issues here. I'm going to grab the center of this. You see where I grabbed the center? It placed it kind of like right here. And when I click on the center here, you can see kind of where that photo, the ghost of that photo is. And I'm going to bring that down and fill this area here. Okay. I'm going to click on this photo here, Command D. I'm going to find the interior shot here, click Open. And again, if I just kind of click and hold, I can see that this photo is much larger than the space I want it to be in. So I'm going to have to reduce this quite a bit. So let me click on this, and I'm going to hold the Command and Shift key down, and I'm going to reduce this down quite a bit. Let go, and then drag this back up again. Grab the center of this and fill it so it fills in this spot right about there. Okay, so basically when you place a photo, that photo comes in at whatever size it normally is. And it might not be the size to fit your window. So what you're going to have to do is kind of enlarge and reduce it maybe a little bit and crop it and make sure that, it fits the way you want it. It's not going to come in exactly to the size that the last photo was. Okay, same with these seats right here. So I'm going to select the seats, do Command D. I'm going to find these seats here and click open, and when I do, you can see it came in much bigger. If I click and hold on this, that's the original size of that photo. It's pretty large. And in order for all of that to fit in this square box, we're going to have to reduce the size of this. So I'm going to do Command Shift, grab a corner and make this much smaller, and then grab the corner, release the Command and Shift key, grab a corner and bring this back out, and then click and move this in. Okay, now it looks like I made it too small. So I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger this time. Crop this down. Crop this over. Something like that. Okay, and maybe this has to kind of come over just a little bit and then just kind of move this over just a little bit there. When you select the center of the circle, you are basically taking that photo and moving it around that crop box there. So see, if I move it over here, this box automatically crops it. So you can kind of move it. You just have to make sure that this photo is bigger than the box that you have. Otherwise, you're going to have white space there. See, if I left it like that, you'd have all this white space. So I click, hold, and just kind of move this around. Now, it could be here, or it could be here, or it could be up some, right? You have a lot of options here, but however you want to position this. I'm going to position this right about here, let go, and it automatically crops it. Okay, so these are all done. Now all we have to do is reprogram our buttons and we're done. So let's go over to the buttons here. And right now, the red is on the Carrera page, right? We want the red to be on this page, on the Carrera 4 page. So let's select the Carrera 4 button. Let's go to Buttons and Forms. And we're going to make it a button, but we're going to not have an action. So I'm going to minus out this action. And the normal state is going to be red. So I'm going to make it red. Now, we don't need a rollover state, so I'll turn off the rollover eyeball. So when I click, now we have Carrera 4 as being in red. Okay, when you click on Carrera 4, you wouldn't even click on this because it's, we're on that page. But what we do have to do change is the Carrera button. The Carrera button has to go to white, and it has to be programmed to go to page 1. So let's do that. Let me zoom in so we can see this a little bit. I'm going to select the Carrera button now, and I'm going to make an action for this to go to a page. Now, what page do I want it to go to? I want it to go to page 1. We're on page 2 right now, so I want this to go to page 1, which is the red car. And then I want the rollover to be black at 50%. Okay, so when we roll over it, it changes to gray. Okay, so the normal state is red and the rollover state is gray. You can see that here. Okay, make sure that you go back to your, now the normal state, is going to be white. We need it to be paper. Okay, the only red is going to be this page here. Okay, hope that doesn't confuse you again. Let me back out of this. So here's what we have on this page. On this page now, we have the Carrera as being white with a rollover, and the Carrera 4 as being in red. So let's test this now, and let's see how this works. Okay, so I'm going to go to the EPUB preview. Now we have our photos animating out, but they're animating not correctly. Okay, these are coming out first. This came out second. It also came out backwards. They didn't all come out at the same time like they're supposed to. Let's just check the buttons to see if it works. Okay, I'm going to click on my multiple page document, click play, and here is my Carrera page. I hover over the Carrera 4. It goes to, oh, this should be going to page, this should be going to page 3. I'm sorry. So we misprogrammed this here. Sorry about that. Should be going to page, actually it should be going to page 2, this button. Okay, so let's select this Carrera 4 button, or Carrera button here. And let's make sure, let's make sure that this button is going to page, this button should be going to page 1, which it does. Ah, I know. This button here on page 1, this button here should be going to page 2 instead of page 3. So we got to change that. Yeah, see how it's going to page 3, this button? This button needs to go to page 2 because it is page 2. So let me just do page 2. Okay, so now this should work. Let me click the multiple page, play. Okay. And now this button should go, yes, there it goes, to page. Okay. And this button here should go to page 1, which it does. This button should go to page 2, which it does. Now we're going to fix all the timing in this in a sec. Okay, but everything works. This is the way the animation should go. 1, 2, and then 3 is all of them together. Okay, so we know that it's working, but all we have to do now is change the animation order of all of this. So we know that we do that under the timing panel. And if we look at our timing panel, we can see that, yes, everything is kind of all messed up here. So let's put the car up front, okay, which is this. We're going to move this all the way to the top. Now you can't seem to move it to the top, so I'm going to move it up here to the second position, and then I'm going to move everything else down underneath it. Okay, so now this is the first thing. That's this car here. That's the first animation. The second animation will be this text here, so I'm going to move this up to position number 2. And then the seats are going to be the last one. The normal is this. I don't know why I named it normal, but this is going to be first, and then the interior is the steering wheel. So now we're going to take all 3 of these, hold the shift key down, and link them together so that they all come out at the same time. So let's check out the way things work. 1, they all come out. That's correct. Now I'm going to click the multiple page icon, click play, and let's see if all of this works. Okay, that looks good. Roll over Carrera 4. I go to Carrera 4, and that works. I go back to Carrera, and it goes back. Okay. Now, if we added Carrera S and Carrera 4S, you kind of know how to do that. If we're on Carrera S, we need to program these buttons to go back to Carrera 4 and the Carrera. Actually, you don't have to reprogram all of these buttons. All you have to do is reprogram like a couple of them, I think, and everything should work. Okay, so if we're making a third page, okay, if we're making page 3 now, then we would, again, copy everything, paste in place, and now we would have, you know, a third page, and we would do the exact same thing. Swap out the photos and so forth. So let me take you back to our original example here. And I'm going to do the EPUB preview so that you can see how all of this works now. Okay, so here is the cover. We go to page 2. And now I roll over. I go to page 4, or Carrera 4, Carrera 5, Carrera 6. And from each page, you can go to any one of these pages, right? Just Carrera 4, Home. Now, Home doesn't have a button on it. So in order to get into this brochure, we would have to click this arrow. All right. So this all works. Okay, our example here. We have basically 2 pages here. Oops. Okay. We have 2 pages here. Even though I made it a 6-page brochure, we only worked on 2, and we would, you know, create the rest of these pages if we, you know, if we have more time. Okay, so this is done. I'm going to do a quick Command S and save. And then the last thing I talked about is how to, you know, distribute this. What do we do after we create this in InDesign? Well, we're going to publish online. And so if you have a cloud subscription, if you're using Adobe InDesign at home, you have this available to you. We are going to go to up to publish this to the cloud, to InDesign's server. We're going to go up here to share. Now, it might say share. It might be a little icon with a down arrow on it. I'm upgraded to the latest version of InDesign, so I guess they changed this to the word share. So whatever. They always do these little things every time they update stuff. They always confuse us. But I'm going to click share, and I'm going to go to publish online. Okay. And when I go to publish online, I'm going to get this little menu that comes out. And it's going to say publish your document online to Adobe Server. I'm going to call this, just because I already have it up there as this, I'm going to call this the Porsche 2-page demo. Okay. And I won't put a description on it. You also have options to give your viewers. If they, you can give them the option of downloading this as a PDF document. Obviously, it will not be, the animations will not work if they download it as a PDF file. So just kind of know that. Animations don't work as PDFs. The only way you can see an animated document that you create in InDesign is to see it on Adobe Server. And you can do that with a link. Very easy. You can also give them the ability to embed this in their website or in another document if you want to do that, if you want to give them the freedom to do that. But I'm just going to click publish. Special characters are not allowed in the title. Oh, okay. All right, so I will just do, oh, okay, the special character was that dash. So I'll just say, sorry, let me retitle this Porsche. I'll call it 2-page demo. And I'll click publish. Okay, it gives you the progress. The faster your computer is, the faster this will happen. Or this is basically your Wi-Fi, your internet speed. This is the link that you will send to people to view your document. So I'm going to copy this right now, and I'm going to show you how that will work. And then let's take a look and see what people would see online. So let's view the document. And now it launched the internet, it launched your browser, and it's taking you right to Adobe's server. Notice the URL here says indd.adobe.com. That means that you are now on Adobe server and you're looking at your file. I'm going to click, okay, see how the rollover works, Carrera 4. I'm going to click on that and I go to that page. I go back up to Carrera, go to that page. None of these other buttons were programmed, so none of these other buttons work. The only two buttons that work are the ones that we programmed. Okay, so that is how people are going to see your document online. Okay, let's go back to InDesign. I've copied the URL. I'm going to close this out. Okay, now as you start to, and I didn't mention this in class the other day, but as you start uploading more documents to Adobe Server, how do you know where they are? How do you manage those documents? Let's say you want to take one off. Let's say you don't need it anymore, or how many do you have up there you forgot? If you're in InDesign and you've uploaded a document to publish online, if you go to File here, you will see down here your Publish Online and your Publish Online dashboard. Now this Publish Online is the exact same one as this one here. Okay, so you can access this either here or you can access it right here. But Publish Online dashboard tells you, if I click on this, launches this, it goes to indd.adobe.com, and now it gives you your dashboard and it tells you how many documents you have up there, when you a lot of the information as to when you uploaded it, is it public, and these are like analytics here. So if you click on these analytics, this tells you how many people viewed it. So you can click on this and it'll give you a analytics is in terms of how many people have seen this, and again you have options of embedding or deleting this entire project if you want. I'm going to ultimately end up deleting this, and then here you have the ability to share this publication and copy the link to to paste on social networks or email, Facebook, Twitter, or email. I've already copied the link, but if you forgot to copy the link, you can copy it again here on the dashboard. Okay, just click copy and you have that link copied to your okay, so I'm going to close this out. So now we can email this, and it's just a matter of opening up your email and pasting in that link, sending it off, and when someone clicks on that link, they will go to this. And they'll be able to interact with it. And this could be an entire ebook publication. It could be a manual. It could be a brochure, could be all kind of things that you can make: a booklet, a story, whatever. Okay, so lots of potential opportunities to create interactive documents and publish them online. And you get this all free with a cloud subscription. Now I'm sounding like a advertisement for Adobe, but I think it's a really good feature. First of all, just the idea of making documents a lot more interesting, to interact with. Another thing that I had up there was, if I go back to this dashboard here, I had this little piece that I did for this could be for a pet food company. I created this all in InDesign. This is actually my dog Lucy, or Lucy from many years ago. She passed away since, but I used this photo, and if you can see, I created this interactivity in this page where you click on this and this swaps out and this text animates in. Okay, again, fly in from right. Fly in from right. And this is an object state, which I haven't gone over, but again, like I said in class, if you want to learn more about interactivity, then take my 145 class, I'm sorry, 148 class in the spring. Okay, with that, let me go back, and the last thing I want to do here is I want to share a resource with you. And that resource is interactivity in Adobe InDesign. And it's on YouTube. And I have it as a subscription to this guy named Angelo Montilla. This guy right here. And you can see all of his videos here, Angelo Montilla, on creating interactive documents in InDesign. He's got a ton of stuff. And he's really a good designer too. I really like his layout, and he takes you step by step, like I just did, in how to create a lot of interactivity in Adobe InDesign. And, I learned a lot of things from him. In fact, a lot of the things I teach in class were basically from some of his tutorials here. Highly recommend this guy. Another person is Terry White, who is an Adobe ambassador, Terry White. And you can look him up on YouTube. He has a lot of videos on Adobe InDesign interactivity. He also does a lot of other Adobe software programs, Photoshop especially. So look up Terry White and this Angelo Montilla, and I think that you'll really, if you really want to get into a lot of depth into, interactivity in InDesign, this is the guy right here for sure. He's really, really good tutorials. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to sign off. So that is interactivity. Again, in class, I asked you to all kind of think about your upcoming project and how you're going to deal with that over the Thanksgiving weekend or the Thanksgiving break next week. And then when we get back, we'll knock out that website. Okay. I will probably be posting another short video, hopefully short video, on next week during the break on some of the details of this website, showing you some examples of some pet shelter websites and kind of like what we're looking for all of those 4 pages that we discussed. Okay, so look to Canvas for that. If you can just kind of dedicate an hour or so out of your Thanksgiving break to check into Canvas, I'll have some information for you. Okay, with that, I will see you. Have a great break, and we'll get together again after Thanksgiving. Okay, take care.